God works in mysterious ways. One way in which I find this to be true is that God will always put you through what you pray for. Now, what would be a great example of this? Because the more I try to contemplate how God works through our lives, through belief, faith, hope, and love, I try to understand, how does God answer our prayers? In what way would God answer our prayers? We have to remember that God is just. So he will never give us anything for free. That isn't a justified thing for God to do. It's not justified for him to give us things for free, for him to answer our prayers immediately in some sort of sense, and then just by doing so we reap the rewards of certain wishes, and we get prideful and arrogant, and then that's what that would lead to: pridefulness and arrogance. In many ways, we have to deserve something to eventually receive it, especially when it comes from God. Ask and you shall receive, as it says in the Bible, but only through trial shall you receive what you are seeking for. To go through trials of testing through experience or being guided towards opportunity by the will of God is the only way that you or I will come to learn wisdom. Because that is the thing of ultimate value. That is the ultimate desire we truly need to go towards, which is wisdom, attaining truth. So how does God put you through what you pray for or what I might pray for? I believe he will give you direct opportunity for experience towards that which we are righteously seeking for from him. It is that opportunity for experience that we can choose to have or not through our own free will, which determines whether we align our action to God's will so that we may allow him to answer our prayers. I believe our connection to our conscience becomes the deciding factor to our ability to discern the will of God. For our conscience acts as the voice of God within our own minds. If we listen to and follow our conscience, we are much more likely to be able to see and hear the calling of God's plan for us. So the aspect of the conscience, the voice within that guides our morality and our moral structures, is extremely important to listen to when within prayer, but also when we are meditating and trying to seek God through prayer. When we're trying to figure out the right decisions to make, it's very important to listen to our conscience. And I think that our conscience is really the deciding factor to whether our prayers can be answered, so that we can actualize and go down the right path for ourselves. Because we are much more likely to discern and be able to recognize the opportunities of experience which God is trying to show us when we listen to our conscience. So let me give you an example of this. Let me give you an example of how God will always put you through what you pray for. Now, this is a very famous saying. I asked for strength, and God gave me difficulties to make me strong. I asked for wisdom, and God gave me problems to learn to solve. I asked for prosperity, and God gave me a brain and brawn to work. I asked for courage, and God gave me dangers to overcome. I asked for love, and God gave me people to help. I asked for favors, and God gave me opportunities. I received nothing I wanted. I received everything I needed. Ultimately, this is to say that you will receive the gifts of God from a lowly place of humility through experience. He will never hand you anything without you having to earn it first. Therefore, God answers our prayers by opening up avenues in our lives that we can go down so that we can become deserving of that which we are seeking for. This is how I see it. This is why prayer is often also oftentimes prayer is always perceived incorrectly. It's not perceived like this. People pray and they expect things from God, because it is the people that expect things from God that will never receive what they expect. They're praying like, oh God, I want this thing, or, he's not going to give it to you. In the sense that you're not coming from a lonely place. You expect things to be given to you. If you expect things to be given to you, that's as if that's being very righteous. It's not coming from a lowly place of humility. And that's what is the most important thing when it comes to discerning the power of God and the way in which God works through us. When we pray, we align towards our conscience. We do an examination of conscience, for example. And we come from a place of humility and not of ego. And we try to understand and see and try and find signs of where God is calling us forth in life. How is he implementing his will within our lives? How can we follow the will of God? And how can we recognize it? That is the most important thing, I think. But if you are humbly seeking virtue through prayer, he will craft ways in which you can attain that said virtue through new experiences, challenges, and trials. All it takes is for you and I to listen closely to your conscience and to use your free will wisely to choose the right path so that you identify the one in which God has made for you. So if you enjoyed this video, guys, and you found it interesting, and you have your own thoughts about prayer and God and how do you perceive prayer? How do you approach it yourself when it comes to having a way of communion or communication with God? Let me know in the comments down below what your thoughts are on this. And of course, if you found this video interesting, give it a like, share it around, show your friends. If you're interested, of course, in any form of coaching with regards to procrastination, bad habits, anything of that nature, as you know of what I do, then do book in a free one-on-one discovery coaching call. And if you are just curious about what I do and you want to know more about it, and you're interested in that sense, book in a free coaching call. I'm very much happy to talk with you guys. I very much appreciate it. So thanks for watching, everyone, and I will speak to you in the next video.